He's gonna romp and stomp. 15 seasons with 4 Super Bowl rings on his fingers. Lewis ain't afraid of no death. Fuck death. Death is a fucking Denver fan. Death wear blue and orange. Real man? Where's black? Lewis ain't afraid of no death. He's afraid of me. Death fears me.
Kevin.
Cause baby, I just win. I just win, Kevin. That's all I know how to do. I just win.
We're back for another new episode. We're gonna do something different this week. I'm gonna go through franchise rankings. I love franchises. Slashers are my favorite, and I love watching different films and how they all connect and all the sequels. Some are good, some are bad, and I think it'd be kind of cool to like rank some of these. I want to try to talk about franchises that not a lot of people talk about and or aren't talked about enough. Like, you know, Freddy, Jason, Michael, we see that all the time. I want to get into some ones that are overlooked. So, first up, I'm gonna do an episode for Final Destination, hence all the skulls. On Final Destination, it dropped in 2000, and it was about a group of people on a damn plane, and it crashed, right? And then one of the characters wakes up with a vision and says, oh, we gotta get off the plane because we're gonna die. All the characters end up getting off the plane. They're all gonna die one by one because death is the slasher in a sense. Death is always gonna come back around because you were supposed to die in this situation, but you cheated death. Each of these films in the franchise has always a group of people who are cheating death per se and trying to look for the clues before they, you know, die. The 6th one is also in the works, supposedly. It's been in the works for a long time. I see like, oh, it's in production or it's not in production, but there's supposed to be a 6th one, so I'm super excited. And maybe we'll redo this when that comes out and see where that ranks in with the series. But first up, very easy for me. Part 4. This movie sucks. All right, this movie is like an hour and 10 minutes, or maybe a little bit less, and it's just, okay, like, I don't know what y'all were doing. So I know they wanted to cash in on the 3D craze. This one is a group of kids who are at a racetrack shit. Like, they're watching drag racing, like the real car drag racing.
Tell me again why we chose this over seeing the movie.
If these guys lose focus for even a millisecond, you're gonna have to scrape them off the fence with a shovel. A shovel!
You come here hoping to see a crash?
No, I would like to see them complete it. Of course it's to see a crash.
You're sick, Hunt.
Come on!
And it's just going in circles, and a group of friends are having their popcorn, eating their hot dogs, spilling mustard on their shirts and shit. And then the cars just blow up and go crazy, and they jump up and they chop people's heads off and blow them all up and shit. I think out of all the films, the tragedies that happen, this is also my least favorite. Like, who gives a fuck about a racing car thing? I don't like cars that race. I don't know. There's some okay deaths in this. My favorite death was Hunt, I feel like. Hunt was like the jockey character. This is like one of my fears, kind of. Like, you're in the water and you end up drowning. I don't want to drown. That's why I don't get in the water that much. Basically, they're trying to find the clues, and the main character called him and said, hey, don't go near water because you might die that way, right? His ass jumps in the pool, he didn't get that message, and then he's just swimming around, and there's like a little drain in the bottom. So he goes and it sucks him in. His booty hole is just on the drain. So it's like, is he gonna drown or is he gonna be sucked in the hole? He's too big to be sucked into the hole, but he gets sucked in that hole and the blood come out. It's a mess. That was my favorite kill because that shit was scary, gross, and he was my favorite character. That movie sucks. Also, it starred the girl from One Tree Hill. They all die. Anyways, Final Destination 4. That's the worst in my opinion. The next 4, I kept going back and forth. I kept interchanging them. They're all great in different ways, and especially the top 2. This one is number 1, the original from 2000. I think it's my 4th pick. I love this one. This one was always gonna rank at least a little bit higher, but I think the other ones excited me a bit more, so I'm basing it off of that. So part 1 is where it all started. Him in the middle, he had the vision, and Devon Sawa, you can see him in Chucky now. He was in Casper. He was in Little Giants. He was in all kinds of shit, but he's back in the year 2000. He was here with Miss Ollie Larder, who plays Clear. Her name always confused me. I was like, is it really called Clear or Claire? Are they saying this wrong? I Googled it. It's Clear. Anyway, so I don't know if that was a joke. Basically, this is about them on the plane, flight 180, and they were on this damn plane and it blew up, and then he was like, oh no, bitch, like, we gonna die. So they all get off the plane. They're all trying to go on this, I think it was a trip in high school, and they were going on their grad night.
17, on the loose. Senior trip with your friends in Paris, 10 days in the springtime. Live it up, Alex. You got your whole life ahead of you.
So they all got off the plane, and then they all start dying one by one. The first guy, he was in the bathtub trying to take a shower or some shit, and he falls in, and then the things wrapped around his neck and choked him. And that's where it all started. Then they all start putting the pieces together. You see the clues, like if a pencil rolls the wrong way, like, bitch, you better be careful because death is after you. Like, they were supposed to die in this fucking plane. Tony Todd is in this movie.
You'll wake the dead.
Super scary. Let me tell you, when I saw this as a kid, I was already scared by Candyman, and to see him with that deep voice, I can't do it.
In death, there are no accidents, no coincidences, no mishaps, and no escapes.
Super tall, super creepy. So this is the Blu-ray. They need to update this. It's 4K. So my third pick out of the 5, this one is kind of a surprise, and I teeter-tottered with this and flipping it and making this into my 4th spot, but I have to go with Final Destination 5. This one caught me by surprise. They upped the ante with the fucking kills. It's in 3D again, but the 3D in this is pretty solid. The reason I like this one, so the tragedy in this one, or what happened is basically they're like an earthquake happened and they're on this bridge and the bridge collapses. That's pretty scary too. There's water at the bottom and there's some pretty gruesome ass kills. The gymnastic girl, there was like a needle that fell on the little beam that she was like doing her little flips on. Very Kimberly from Power Rangers of the opening scene. So she was doing that and you would think that her leg or her foot was gonna go into that nail, but it didn't. So she kept doing little flips and flops and all this stuff that you think was gonna kill her and it didn't. What got the bitch was another gymnastics person fell over some dust and it got in her face. She flipped and flopped like a pancake and her body went cloop like that. And her blood and guts, it was just so bad. Crazy. That one was the most gruesome, and I think that's probably one of my favorite kills out of all of them. Second favorite. The other kill in this Part 5 movie that really got me was where the bitch was going to get LASIK eye surgery. He put this little thing on her eye, like to open her eye so like it won't close. It was just the tension and the buildup. And then stuff kept happening. The doctor got pulled away, so he had to leave the office. So she's stuck there with her eye, and here come death. The air's coming in, death trying to come get the bitch. I thought that candle flickered. See, death probably coming for me. When they all come back in, the bitch trips on her fucking high heel. She falls out the window, falls into a car, and that stupid thing is still in her eye. Her eyeball pop out, and you just bounce on across the street and get run over by a car. Ain't that crazy? That kill is insane. And anyone with my eyeballs, that's insane. And this whole series, this hella eyeball kills. Let me tell you, Part 2 got one. We're gonna get into it. Final Destination 5. While all this happened, same shit. The girl had the vision. They all trying to cheat death.
It's gone. You killed him.
So does that mean I get Block's life? Yeah. Yes, I do.
But at the end, it all goes back to Part 1. That's the twist. Y'all, this came out in 2011. If y'all ain't seen it, I'm sorry. So this happened before Flight 180, when it ends with this shit about to happen.
Come on, Brad! Get on the phone! Get on the phone!
What's all that about?
I have no idea.
So originally, this is the original people, and then it goes into the Part 1. I was gagged, gooped, the gumption of everything. I was just in that theater like, oh my god! There's cool featurettes and alternate deaths on this Blu-ray. By the way, this is the Best Buy exclusive back in the day when they used to do that. Part 5 was super exciting for me, and I loved it, and I wish they continued. Number 2, I'm gonna go with Final Destination 3. You can interchange this. I know a lot of people put this as their favorite. I will say this one is scary to me because I'm terrified of heights, and every time I got on a roller coaster as a kid, I always had this fear that my ass is gonna fall out. If I got on one now, it's like I'm too big. I let that shit break and I fall out and I'm dying. I'm screaming. Nobody can hear me. I'm just gonna go plop. So this is why this one scares me. So you're on this roller coaster, these high school kids, they got all their drama. This girl likes him, this guy likes this girl, the two bitches, ditzy bitches from Mean Girl looking girls. I don't know, this is a whole bunch of dumb bitches, and they all on this roller coaster and they all get f***ed up. Again, Miss Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I think she's my favorite final girl of all of them. Her and Clear, Ollie Lauder's character. One of my favorite final girls, or not so final girls, because you know, death always comes back. So this one, I will say, my favorite kill in Part 3 was the two ditzy white girls going to get the little suntan.
Dude, he said no drinks. If you spill that shit, we're gonna have to clean it up like last time. Happy biatch.
So they go to the little suntan thing and they get in, death comes, and the shit locks, and they're getting fried the f up. They wanted a tan, they got a super tan. They get burned, the shit blows up, and that was my favorite kill in this one. The dude that was working out, this was pretty sudden, because I remember jumping on this one when he was like doing the little weights or whatnot. The people were trying to warn him, like, oh, hey, you next in line to die.
He's gonna romp and stomp. 15 seasons with 4 Super Bowl rings on his fingers. Lewis ain't afraid of no death. Death is a Denver fan. Death wear blue and orange. Real man? Where's black? Lewis ain't afraid of no death. Afraid of me. Death fears me.
Kevin.
Cause baby, I just win. I just win, Kevin. That's all I know how to do. I just win.
And then the fucking things at the top, the little medals on the little thing he's working on, comes and smashes his brains in. I was like, oh man, at least the black dude lasted longer. So I like how this movie, a lot of the kills were out of the blue. Part 3 is pretty solid. I remember when this came out on DVD, they had this like choose your motion or something, choose your vision or something in the bonus features. I don't think this one has that, which is weird. That was a cool little 3D thing too on the old DVD. Now for my number 1 pick for Final Destination is part 2. All right, y'all, so the anniversary of this came out 20 years ago in 2003. Ain't that crazy? Part 2 is my favorite because I feel like every time I'm in a car, every time I see a fucking truck with those little logs on it and shit, I feel like Final Destination 2 about to happen. This movie is embedded in my brain ever since I've seen it back in 2003. I like it too because this is the only one that had a returning character from the previous film. So she's right in the middle. Miss Ollie Larder is back for the sequel. She was in the first one and she supposedly survived and beat death. Not surprised that she's not crazy. So when she meets this new group, go to her to help her. She's like, oh, you gotta watch this, watch that. You gotta cheat death this way. What is this order? This chick right here, she's, what's her name? Ollie Larder's AJ Cook. AJ Cook right here, the dark hair. Her ass was the one that had the vision in this one. When everyone was getting out in the car and the mom and his son. This song was annoying, by the way. Anyways, she woke up and she was pulled over and says, no, stop, this is gonna happen. And it happened. So then the whole movie, they're trying to figure out what to do. This movie had a lot of crazy kills too. The old boy, when he was in the dentist, is very reminiscent to the LASIK eye surgery one. He was in the dentist getting his teeth and the doctor kept getting distracted. So I'm like, oh shit, his teeth gonna go come out. He just kept hitting the window, so that was a clue. Later on, he got out, everything was fine. He walks outside with his mama with a long ponytail, and then the other character's trying to warn them, hey, the little boy is next. The little boy sees a group of pigeons. His dumbass runs up on the pigeons. He didn't see the clue. He ran up on the pigeons and the glass thing from all these tractors, the Mexicans working on the road, the thing fell and smashed him. And he died. That's what he get. The mama died next. The bitch should stay away from claws. She get in the elevator with old boy from Living Single. There was a guy with a basket of claws. I don't know why he had a basket of claws, but he did. And she looked at him and got scared. So the elevator was opening, so she ran out in her long ass ponytail, got caught on his little fucking hook. The elevator closed, so it ripped her head back, and her head was stuck between the door, and the thing went up and smashed the bitch. Ain't that crazy? That's why I was thinking elevators, I run my fat ass out of there. I don't want to get my head smashed. My favorite kill, I think, was the jockey dude in this one early on. And I love how the clues are just right in your face, or they weren't so unless you paid attention. But he was in his apartment about to cook his meal or whatever. You know those little things you put the alphabet on your refrigerator? The alphabet was there. It was the H and the letter E-Y-E. So the H fell off the refrigerator and fell into his fucking food, and the E-Y-E was on the wall. Remember we talked about eyes? So the fire starts happening, the microwave goes crazy, all this shit happens that could have killed him, but he dips and dodges it all. He tries to escape because the apartment's going on fire. He goes out the fire escape, he falls, and then the ladder falls and goes right in what? His eye! And he died with a ladder. Ain't that crazy? So that was my favorite, I think, from part 2, because I was insane. And it showed him, bitch, you gotta read. But he don't make you read that much, so that's probably why. I like this series. This series is super fun. Check this out if you haven't. And I wanna know, if you guys have watched Final Destination, what is your rankings? I feel like my ranking's pretty solid. I had a lot of fun with part 2, and I almost watched that one the most, I feel like. And we gotta celebrate it being 20 years that everyone has been scared to be on the highway. If you guys have any like other franchises that you want me to review or rank, let me know in the comments or DM me on Instagram. But it'll be super fun. Stay tuned for more episodes of Bluray Tuesday with Terrell. Listen to the Overlook Hour and stay tuned. But beware, y'all. Don't forget, with these candles, just like these candles could be lit out, this could be our final time here. So again, watch out for the signs, because you could be dead next. Bye, y'all.
Dude, look at those titties! You missed that. You missed that? Oh, that's too bad.